The line was silent at first. Then a whisper broke through. "Help me," the voice trembled. The operator tried to calm the caller, but what came next sent chills down her spine. This wasn't just a plea for help. It was a cry from someone who wasn't supposed to be alive. It was a stormy October night in a quiet suburban town. At 11:47 p.m., a 911 dispatcher received a call from a number linked to an abandoned house on Holloway Street. The house had been empty for years, ever since its previous owner, a reclusive artist named Victor Lane, was found dead under mysterious circumstances. When the call connected, the dispatcher, Melissa Carter, heard faint breathing. "911, what's your emergency?" she asked. Silence. Just when she was about to disconnect, a shaky voice whispered, "He's here watching me." "Who's watching you?" Melissa pressed, her heart racing. No answer. Instead, the line filled with strange noises, footsteps, the rustle of fabric, and faint sobs. It sounded like the caller was hiding. But from whom or what? The house on Holloway Street wasn't just any abandoned home. It was infamous in the town's lore. Victor Lane, the artist who once lived there, had painted disturbing, almost prophetic portraits that seemed to depict people moments before their deaths. One night, Victor's neighbors reported screams coming from his home. When police arrived, they found his body dangling from a beam in his studio. The chilling part? The final painting on his easel was of himself hanging, created weeks before his death. Since then, locals swore the house was cursed. Some said they'd heard voices coming from inside. Others claimed to have seen shadowy figures in the windows. But nothing was ever proven, and the house remained sealed off. Melissa traced the call to that same house. She dispatched officers to the scene while keeping the caller on the line. "Stay with me," she urged. "Can you describe where you are?" "The basement," the voice whispered. Melissa froze. The basement? The house's basement had been sealed by the authorities after Victor's death. How could someone be down there? The voice suddenly grew frantic. "He's coming closer. Please, I don't want to die." "Who's coming?" Melissa demanded, but before she could get an answer, a blood-curdling scream pierced the line, and the call disconnected. When officers arrived, they found the front door ajar. The air inside was heavy, carrying the scent of mildew and something metallic, blood. They descended into the basement, flashlights trembling in their hands. What they found was beyond comprehension. There was no one there, but in the center of the room was an old rotary phone, disconnected, covered in dust. Beside it was a freshly painted canvas depicting a terrified woman screaming into a phone. The unsettling detail? The woman in the painting was wearing the same uniform as Melissa Carter, the dispatcher. The case left investigators baffled. The phone call was traced back to the old rotary phone, which hadn't been functional in decades. No signs of recent activity were found in the house. Melissa took a leave of absence, haunted by the voice and the painting. Strangely, 2 weeks later, she disappeared without a trace. The only clue left behind was a single message scrawled on her bedroom wall. "He's watching me." Was the call a cry for help from beyond the grave? Or had the curse of Holloway Street claimed another victim? To this day, no one knows who or what placed that call. But one thing is certain. The house on Holloway Street holds secrets darker than anyone can imagine. Would you dare to answer the call? Before we dive deeper into this chilling case, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss the true crime stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. What do you think was behind the mysterious 911 call? A haunting? A curse? Or something else entirely? Let us know your theories in the comments below. We're reading them all. If this story gave you chills, share it with a friend who loves true crime. And remember, the scariest stories are the ones that leave us with more questions than answers. Subscribe for more terrifying true crime cases. And stay tuned for our next spine-tingling tale.